wasn't that what a team to pick. I found that a team up there. If you look at the team, tell me I've got some notes. A supporter just sent me a couple of emails.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Preston's first pre-season game of the summer. We've made the short trip over to Salford City for the first game of Alex Neil's pre-season campaign, and we will be underway very shortly. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll go through the two teams shortly. Firstly, let's get the thoughts though of Paul McKenna, the former Preston North End captain, who is with us this afternoon. And Kenna, great to see you. Pre-season slightly different this year though, of course, with the COVID outbreak, so things are truncated a little bit.
Yeah, it's all new ground, isn't it? As we said, it was really heaved towards the end of last season with the 2-month layoff. So the tired limbs at that stage of the season, got a bit of a rest. And with them only having 3 weeks off in between the end of last season and the start of this, it's kind of hit the ground running. And as we've just been talking off camera, you'll expect to see a lot of minutes played by a lot of the players because they've really had no time. Maybe get away for a couple of weeks on holiday, but that'll be it, and back hit the ground running.
Yeah, even getting away on holiday, I think, has been difficult for some of the players with the restrictions. It's been a totally new experience for everyone, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and it'll be the same old adage, isn't it? That the team that adapts to these new circumstances the best will probably get off the ground, and they'll start the season well. But Preston, Alex Neil and his men, I'm sure they've had meeting after meeting and on trying to go about it the correct way, and as I said, unprecedented ground, so we're all new to this, and there's no right or wrong, but it will probably get a taste of it come the start of the season.
And this afternoon it's a trip over to Salford City, and plenty of familiar faces as well. Chris Lacetti just introducing himself to you there, not seen him for a little while, but Graham Alexander in charge here, and a lot of familiar faces on the coaching staff.
Yeah, just as we walked in there, we've got Nashi taking the goalkeepers, and Yul Mwenni, nice to see him back with his old former staff mates. So yeah, I'm sure they've got good camaraderie here, and with the the signings they've made over the summer, I just look, getting Clark in, it's a great move for him. It'll be a great transition for him, his stage of his career, and not having to move home, etc. I'm sure he'll be a great servant to him.
Yeah, Tom Clark will be lining up against Preston this afternoon, and just a quick look ahead to the season for North End. So close again last year to making playoffs. They'll be trying to get into that top 6 again this year.
Yeah, it was a strange one. It was a shame really, because they were gathering momentum right and cementing in amongst that top 6, and kind of they probably didn't deal with the upset as well as other teams did. But we knew it was always going to be a tough ask for them, being in around the clubs that with the financial backing that they had. But yeah, the start of every season brings new hope and optimism, and with the signings they can make and bringing people in and sorting out things behind the scenes, I'm sure they'll be on the front foot, and they'll be raring to get in that top six, as they've been knocking on the door now for 4 or 5 seasons.
Well, do stay with us. The game will be underway very shortly. It's Salford City against Preston North End. Well, the two teams will be out very shortly for the start of this pre-season game. I'll just run through the team news for you, and the starting 11 for Preston North End. Connor Ripley is in goal. The 4 at the back: Andrew Hughes, Jordan Story, Patrick Bauer and Alan Brown, who will be captain. Ryan Ledson and Tom Bayliss will be in midfield. Billy Bowden, Daniel Johnson and Scott Sinclair playing behind Sean Maguire. That's the starting lineup. Well, for Salford City, Nick Hayes is in goal. Jason Lowe, Tom Clark, Ash Eastham and Oscar Threlkeld will be in defence. Ibu Torre and Darren Gibson in midfield. Richie Towell, Ash Hunter and Brandon Asante playing behind Ian Henderson, the veteran striker, up front for Graham Alexander's side this afternoon. Preston expected to play that starting lineup for roughly an hour in this game, and then there'll be a total change at that point. Pre-season, as we've just mentioned, slightly different to usual, of course, and the players expected just to come in a little bit fitter than usual, having only had the 3 weeks off. And the big kick-off just around the corner now, with the Championship fixtures announced this week and the season beginning at home against Swansea City. Paul McKenna is sat alongside me, waiting for the two teams to come out this afternoon. And well, what are your memories of pre-season? Kind of changed somewhat to how it was back in your day?
Yeah, I think the most question you get asked when you finish playing football is, do you miss it? And I think the biggest thing I don't miss about football is the pre-seasons. It was, it wasn't a great time. This is obviously new ground and it's completely different. Having only 3 weeks off, I would imagine it's not going to be come back in and running for 2 weeks solid. You've not got that time anymore. But with the lads, they probably really did that when they came back from the 2-month layoff when COVID first started. So it's almost just been a continuation. Let the legs have a little rest for a couple of weeks and then back into it. So I don't imagine there'll be too much of a pre-season as it was. It'll probably just get back into normal kind of training, and I expect it to be a competitive match today. You know, Salford already got 2 games under the belt, and Preston coming in fresh from 3 weeks off. So yeah, as you said, people or individuals should be a lot fitter at this point of the season as they normally would in pre-season. This is the first actual game for Preston, but as you said, I would expect them to be a lot fitter, a lot more down the line in getting back to real match sharpness.
Just going back to your days as a player, which was the toughest pre-season? Is there any that stand out, or any particular manager that really put you through it?
I think obviously under David Moyes when he got the reins, and then when Alan Irvine worked with him so long, when he got the reins at Preston, it was kind of back to the old school, and he did more or less identical pre-season to David Moyes, having worked under him for so long. So that was kind of, none of them were easy, don't get me wrong, but the ones under Alan Irvine really stood out. I remember the second year I was under him, and it was on the cards whether I went to Nottingham Forest or not, and I was praying that the deal was done before we went off to Austria, because I knew what was coming, because we were doing exactly the same, and it was awful. And I remember being sat on the bus shipping us from the airport and taking us to Austria, and me ringing Brian O'Neill, who was my agent at the time, telling him he was sacked when I got home, because and I remember him laughing down the line, just saying, "You just get your head down and get it done." But yeah, it was awful. Yul Mawene was a great memory of that, actually. Just bumped into him again. I didn't get the job here, but when his diaphragm went into spasm doing the 300s on the running track out there. So yeah, lots of memories. But it's good looking back at him and knowing you had the mental fortitude and the fitness to get through it, but it's not something that I would want to do again.
I think Dave Sedden or Neil Mellor was tweeting a picture this week of John Parkin at the front of a run during pre-season. I think he was probably being lapped though, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah. Usually we only saw John's bum when we were doing laps.
Great memories and great stories, but the team's out for the start of the match here this afternoon, and we'll be underway very shortly, and a chance for many of these players to build up their fitness and to try and impress and catch the eye for a position in the starting 11 when the championship season kicks off in earnest. And it is the unfamiliar sight of seeing Tom Clark captaining the opposition today, and he is going through those formalities with Alan Brown. But great move for Tom Clark, isn't it? And you'd imagine he'll do really well here. Yeah,
it's a shrewd signing by Graham. You know, he's as I said, he's not someone who somewhere he'll have to move house, etc. It'll be an easy transition for him, and he'll be a great servant. You know, he still held his own every time he was called upon. Really good professional. You know, the service that Preston have had about him over the years, and I'm sure that Salford are going to get 2 or 3 years at least out of him.
Well, he's a starter today for Graham Alexander's Salford City, but it's going to be Preston who will kick the game off, and we will get the summer of pre-season games off and underway here this afternoon. It's been a slightly different summer than usual, but football is back for North End. And here's Alan Brown from right back, bursting forward. Bayliss was challenged as Salford get it back to their goalkeeper. Preston trying to push high up the field early on, as you would expect. Typically under Alex Neil since he arrived, that has been the approach. Darren Gibson getting it down now. Tom Clark getting in the way there, but recovering to gather it. Attack on for the home team this time. And to release Asante. Being closely watched. Defended by North End. You'll notice no numbers on the Salford players' shirts this afternoon. Make life a little bit more difficult for us. But it started pretty competitively, and there's a free kick. The assistant waving his flag. An early opportunity for Salford with this set play. Early defensive test for Alex Neil and for Connor Ripley in goal for Preston today. No Declan Rudd, who was injured. So Ripley is between the sticks and he's watching on here. In comes the free kick, and it's punched away by Ripley. Darren Gibson will shepherd it out for another throw. Both teams trying to start on the front foot here, though.
Yeah, we just mentioned, and it's certainly been a lively first minute or two. Both sets of players look sharp, and as we'd expect, you know, with such a short layoff.
Into the box it goes as Salford continue to try and start here, and cross is a little bit wayward. Has gone out for a goal kick, but Salford have played a couple of games, haven't they, already this pre-season? They beat Lincoln and lost against Crewe, so they've already got some minutes in the tank. But Preston only had a short layoff anyway from the end of last season.
Should be a competitive game though, but both managers, you know, trying to implement the high press already. You can see that they're trying to stop their opponents playing out, and should be a good competitive game.
Here's Bauer. And German had a fantastic first season for Preston.
Yeah, he just gave them that little bit of physical presence, didn't he, that maybe lacked with when it was Story in there the year before. And take nothing away from Story, I thought he had a magnificent season. He was probably unlucky not to play a large part of last season, but the big German came in and stamped his authority, and he was the perfect foil for his partner.
Ripley again, seeing a lot of the ball at his feet in the opening stages. bit of head tennis here as Ledson, celebrating a new contract this week, opens it up now for Hughes, who can try and pick out another who signed a new contract this summer in Sean Maguire. The Republic of Ireland striker does well. A couple of options in the penalty area. Preston not putting it in there just yet. Comes back to Bauer. Here's Billy Bowden, who'll be hoping for an injury-free season. Daniel Johnson won the Player of the Year awards at the end of last season. He's hoping to try and find Scott Sinclair this time. Bowden out-muscled, and Darren Gibson putting his foot through it. Good news for Preston to sign up Sean Maguire and Ryan Ledson on new deals in the summer, committing their futures to the club.
Yeah, it looks a little leaner than last time I seen him, Ledson. It looks like he's lost a bit of weight and maybe a bit more mobile, but yeah, we only see them on a Saturday afternoon, but the manager obviously has a lot of faith in him that he's an up-and-comer. He's someone who certainly will put his foot in, and I think he's a good stand-in for when Pearson isn't about, but and maybe you've got to play Brown out of position as he does so often because he's so versatile. It might be a good partnership, them two in there. They'll certainly accommodate each other, and you would put them two against anyone to win the battle, wouldn't you, in this league?
Here is Ledson, hoping to find Bayliss, we haven't seen a great deal of since he arrived about 12 months ago on the eve of the season from Coventry City. Ledson, who was a mainstay really at the end of last season after the restart. He hopes to find Alan Brown, but Tom Clark is able to clear it away. Here's Hunter. Back to Lowe, the former Blackburn man. Darren Gibson needs no introduction, of course, from his time in the Premier League at Manchester United and Everton and Sunderland. Bowden gathering this loose ball. Clever cross from him, but caught comfortably by the goalkeeper. But Billy Bowden has a torrid time for injuries, hasn't he? But we know he's got so much ability and he can be a real asset.
Yeah, you just touched on it earlier, but I think keep the likes of him fit. I think he's what Preston probably lacks here. They've never lacked endeavour or fitness, etc., or desire. But they sometimes miss that player that will open a defence up and create a chance for a fellow teammate. We've seen that numerous times from Billy Bowden, haven't we? He's just got great ability, and I think they keep him fit for the season. I think we'll have a good campaign.
Ledson with the block, and it ricochets towards Scott Sinclair now. A full pre-season for Scott Sinclair is really what he needs after joining in January. We've seen the quality that he's got on a couple of occasions with some of the goals that he's been able to score. Really lit up Deepdale when he scored his first goal against Swansea. We're hoping to do the same on the opening day of the new season, I'm sure, against his old side. Here's Gibson again now. Frelkel forward towards Henderson here. Sante now motoring on, but leaving it for the overlap. Jordan Story gets the block in and should be cleared by Preston. The ricochets haven't helped. Comfortable though for Ripley. Easily able to make the save. This is Brown. Switching it well to Andrew Hughes. Daniel Johnson offering it short. We're trying to go a bit longer, but it's picked off by the home side. Sante again now. Got plenty of pace as well. Beaten away by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, just going off what I've seen already, look like they've got a nice mix. He's obviously tried to bring in a little bit of experience this year. got Clark at the back and Gibson in centre mid and Henderson up front. So he's got obviously lively young lads, and he's also got a mix of experience.
Salford have got this corner now. Flicked away by Story. Danger's not over yet, but Story sees to it again. Well, Salford showing they're comfortable on the ball, and they're continuing to try and ask questions. Eastham knocks it in field, but the move breaks down. Here's Daniel Johnson now. What a season he had last year, of course. Maguire trying to get past Clark. Might have seen that in training a few times over the years.
Yeah, looked really sharp there, Maguire chasing it, and Clark had to be on his guard and made a lunging tackle just to thwart his ex-teammate there. But yeah, they're the kind of runs. That's when he's at his best, Maguire. When he's in these little pockets here, just causing work. When he makes defenders have to make a decision whether they stay with him or they sit off him.
Bowden. Bayliss having to chase it here. It's a good cross from him as well. Just flicked away. Ledson backing up the play again, trying to just flick in Scott Sinclair, but it was dealt with. Referee Scott Oldham right on the spot there, spotting the foul. Salford finished 11th in League Two last season. The League Two campaign ending on the points per game system, somewhat controversially. Just wide there. Really inventive play from Lowe.
Been impressed with Salford so far. Preston, you know, don't know if they think they can turn up because they're 2 leagues lower, but they've certainly been on the front foot and created the best chances so far. That poor defending there by Alan Brown. You don't see that very often. Usually when he's at right back, he's so athletic, he does a great job for him, but just fainted to cross the ball with his left foot, went past him. Was a little unlucky, he didn't get a little bit more purchase on the outside of his left foot shot there and bend it into the far stick, but great play by the left winger there. Sorry, his name evades me.
Jason Lowe, joining the summer from Bolton, formerly of Blackburn, of course. Here's Eastham, former Fleetwood man. And Darren Gibson, who signed a new 1-year contract only yesterday. He joined just before lockdown hit the end of last season. And he managed a couple of games, but impressed in that time. Here's Tom Clark, a player that we know so well, of course, for his 7 years in a North End shirt. Bowden and Bayliss linking up. Good play from Brown, needs a bit of support now. Hughes takes it on. Scott Sinclair. Just about kept in play. Vision from Bauer again. Finds North End in a useful spot. Can the attacking players open up this Salford defence? Not quite on that occasion from Sinclair. Free kick goes Preston's way this time. First proper defensive test that Salford have got in this game now. It's Ledson for Bauer, whose flick on nearly fell for Sean Maguire. Tom Clark's turned it behind for the corner.
Yeah, I think if I was a free kick taker for Preston, he'd be the man you aim for every time. And you rarely see him get beat in the air, never mind defensively, but offensively he's almost took over from that presence that Clark had in set pieces for Preston over the last 7 years.
Yeah, his height causes real problems. Deep corner this time. Hughes was first to it. Gibson brings it away, and the counter-attack could be on now.
Great ball.
Got support as well, have Salford. Poor final ball. Well, we'll have another chance. That's who was back there helping out and getting the vital block.
Did well there, Ledson, didn't he? Recovered really well, saw the danger. You could say the Salford player should have played it earlier, but he gave him half a chance to get back in, and he recovered really well, saved his team the blushes there.
Yeah, he did really well in the games after lockdown. The end of last season did Ryan Ledson. Deservedly getting his new contract too. He's still only 23 as well. So plenty of years ahead of him.
Yeah, he's had a couple of in and out seasons, hasn't he, since arriving from, was it Liverpool he arrived from?
He started off at Everton.
Everton, that was it, yeah, but he's always give a good account of himself when he's been called upon. It's usually, as I say, he's been the perfect fit when Pearson's been missing, which there's been quite a lot of that over the last 2 seasons with his disciplinary record. But that is getting better. But yeah, he's done well when he's come in.
Yeah, he did pretty well in comparison last season. Did Ben Pearson? 9 yellow cards. Salford on the front foot again here. Deep cross, just evades Henderson. I think he was lurking. They've had chances, haven't they, Graham Alexander's men?
Yeah, I'm just looking at Alex Neil. He doesn't look happy with what he's seeing on the pitch at the minute. He needs someone out there who's the leader and get hold of the lads and just take a grip of the game, because at the minute, Salford, you would say they were the team from a higher league.
Ripley with the goal kick. 2 Republic of Ireland men, Maguire and Gibson colliding. Is low. Hunter with the clever turn. Oh, it's really promising stuff from Salford at times, isn't it? They've just not quite had the final ball.
Yeah, it's just not quite, as you say, it's just not quite clicked from the final third.
Bowden trying to take it away from Lowe, but Lowe dealt with it. Ripley with the slice clearance. Story's able to gather it. Gibson and Sinclair. A bit of a wrestling match there. Free kick goes Preston's way. Here's Bayliss. again going for goal, just wide this time. Preston trying to defend here. Bauer thought about coming across. Bowden's stayed with the attacker and forced Salford back. Ledson again into it first. And here's Sinclair. Johnson's offside there. He knew it straight away. Long from Clark that Hughes is able to gather. Both teams asking questions there where the free kick's gone. It's got to go Salford's way though. Gibson looking at the options. Tom Clark's been given the nod to go forward. Goes towards Clark. Well, it's nearly at the midway point of the first half. Fairly even in the main. Salford have shown they've got some decent players in their ranks though. Salford trying to play Preston at their own game with the high press. Nearly pinched it there, but Preston have got it away. And here's Sean Maguire now. He's got support arriving. Drifts past one, and here's Daniel Johnson. Didn't quite hit it. Scott Sinclair does, though. And the Championship side have the lead. Sloppy defending in the end from the League Two men, but Preston made the most of it. And it's Scott Sinclair who breaks the deadlock.
Yeah, we were just speaking about players who can unlock defences, and there we just saw on the first glimpse of why Sean Maguire has been gifted a new contract in the last few weeks. He's electrifying when he gets down that wing, isn't he? You know, you look at he's faced up Darren Gibson there. You know, lots of experience at Premier League level, and he's just ghosted past him and created the opportunity. He created the initial opportunity for his teammate Johnson, who sclaffed his shot a little bit and was fortunate to get a second bite of the cherry with Sinclair, but used his body well and just toe poked it past the keeper. It was point blank range, he had no chance really, but the first real chance that Preston have had, and they've managed to put it away.
Away from Bauer for the throw. Tough really for Scott Sinclair when he did arrive in January. There was so much expectation on his shoulders. He hadn't played an awful lot for Celtic either, so he was busy trying to play catch up. He weighed in with a couple of eye-catching goals. But a full pre-season, so to speak. Will do him the world of good, you'd imagine. Ledson just over hitting it on that occasion.
Right idea though, I think. Said just if Bowden had been on his bike or Sean Maguire playing off the shoulder, I think it was a good ball, just obviously lack of communication.
Ledson catching it from Darren Gibson. And it's Daniel Johnson for Bowden again. 2 quick-fire goals. And Preston taking command now. Billy Bowden this time getting in on the act. And it's Salford 0, Preston 2.
On paper, before the game started, the front four of Preston, you say they look dangerous, don't they? They've all got a bit of pace about them. They're comfortable on the ball and they've got ability, and it's just showing you there that's the difference between the two levels, isn't it? That's why you pay the money for your strikers and your forward-thinking players. Really good half up to 2 minutes ago, wasn't it, from Salford, as we were saying, singing the praises, but just that little bit of quality has managed to undo them at the back and expose some of the frailties.
Yeah, and it was Ryan Ledson who pinched the ball back, wasn't it? Trying to take it off Darren Gibson.
He's been Preston's best player this half. I think Ledson, he's nullified danger every time it's been in and around him, and his use of the ball's been excellent.
And as you say, Salford giving themselves pretty good account of themselves up until what, 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's been just a crazy couple of minutes, hasn't it? A couple of mistakes, individual errors, which have put Preston on the front foot, and they've managed to capitalise twice in 2 minutes, and really flatters them up to now. But as I said, it's that little bit of quality that's the difference between the teams.
Here's Henderson now. He tries to square it, but was not quite able to be gathered by Hunter. Not fully cleared yet.
Just again, just that little. It's minute, the difference, isn't it? But it's massive. He just takes a little bit off that cross. It's an easy tapping in the back in the game.
Good move here. Slow pulling it back, and again it's just wide of the post.
They've been in that position umpteen times, haven't they? Right hand side of the area there. I'm sure it's something that the Preston manager we wanted to tighten up. Maybe it's Jordan's stories. It's his weakest side, that left hand side. He's more accustomed to play on the right when he's got his natural left-footed partner alongside him. But they've certainly exposed that little area coming in the right hand side of the 18-yard box, and thankfully for Preston they've not been able to capitalise on that.
26 minutes on the clock. Preston lead by 2 goals to 0. But the League Two men have looked good. Gibson through the middle. Again, just slightly overhit. Billy Bowden apologising as
I think he was offside anyway. I think the referee just didn't put his flag up because he knew Maguire wasn't going to get to it.
his story. Chase on here for Alan Brown. Just about made it. Ledson challenging again. Help wins the throw in. Ripley again with the save. Salford on everything but score, but they have this time. They are back in the game.
It's no more than they deserve, is it? You know, they've had 3 really good chances since going 2-0 down. And I'll tell you what, you take those couple of minutes out of that first half, and they've really dominated Preston. It's worrying signs. You can see Alex Neil's by no means enthused by what he's seeing in this first half.
Well, plenty of talking points for sure in what we've seen so far. Sinclair giving chase. Good block from Sinclair. Johnson winning it back. This is Maguire now. Bauer nearly got caught on the ball there, but he got his feet sorted out just in the nick of time.
Tricked everyone, even himself, didn't he? But yeah, it just shows you the intensity of the press from Salford, though, isn't it? Every time Preston defenders are on the ball, there's people in the faces and trying to force them into mistakes, as we nearly saw Bauer then.
Plucky Salford continuing to look a threat. Busy following away down the right. Here's Bayliss. Brown. But it's been a good workout for Preston, hasn't it, so far?
Yeah, because certainly their opponents look really fit, don't they? So, as I said, at this point of the season, you're not playing your full first team, and you take 3 or 4 out of your initial starting lineup, and it changes the dynamics completely. So you can't read too much into what's going on. But yeah, so far it's been a well competed and physical game.
Salford again trying to line up another effort. Doesn't make the target this time, though.
They could have easily gone in this half, though, 2 or 3 to the good, couldn't they? I'm sure Graham Alexander, apart from has had a couple of individual mistakes almost, that just a mad 2 minutes. I'm sure he's happy with his team's performance thus far.
Well, plenty of backing, of course, here at Salford City with the owners. Long way go. And Brian at right back today. Defends well on that occasion. Sinclair loses out. Hunter back for Gibson. Bauer got the foot in. Hudson had to ride the challenge, which he got a free kick for.
Looked a fair challenge, didn't it, to be fair? There was no one jumping up and down for Preston thinking it was a bad tackle. I think Lidson probably likes that side of the game, and I think he'd be aggrieved if that was given against him.
Preston trying to steal it again up the field. A goal kick instead. It's been quite a story for Salford City, though, hasn't it? A lot has been said about the ownership and the backing that they've got from the Neville brothers, Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, and Peter Lim as well. But
it's almost unprecedented, isn't it, in this league, especially in the league when they first took over in the Unibond. It's no wonder they flew through the divisions. It took them 2 or 3 years to get finally into the League Two, and I think last year was the first year, wasn't it? And they acquitted themselves really well. But I'm thinking, with the players they've signed now, experience with Gibson's, Lowe, Henderson, you've got Clark, you've got the nucleus there of some really experienced team, and I'm sure they're looking now to start knocking on the door at the upper echelons of League Two.
Yeah, you think they will be one of the main challengers. Credit to Graham Alexander as well, who got them promoted to the Football League. Hudson just caught here, and the referee stopping the game to check he's okay. Fire will probably offside here, I think.
Yeah, did well, Graham. He's it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You come into a club that's financially far better off than anyone else in the league, but also with that comes a huge weight of expectation, and if you don't deliver, it's usually you're the first one to with your neck on the block. And you know, he was able to get the players in that he wanted and execute a plan for the season and get them into that league.
Yeah, it probably been missed slightly that they actually reached the final of the EFL Trophy as well before the season was halted. Booked Salford a place at Wembley too. Sinclair crowded out of it. Ten minutes to go to half time. Still 2-1 to Preston. Not exactly pre-season weather this afternoon. A little bit blustery.
Yeah, I'm sure it's welcomed by both sets of players, though.
Yeah, this wasn't a couple of weeks ago. It was roasting.
Yeah, we used to always say that you know, you should always book your holidays when you finish football the first day of pre-season, because it used to never fail to be red hot and could hardly breathe in the pre-season games.
Salford trying to draw level before the break. Sinclair defending. Bayliss now attacking. Maguire doesn't have a great deal with him. Might have to go it alone. Tight angle. Not quite sure what he had in his mind there.
I think he's obviously pulled it with his left foot, not his strongest side, but good run again. He's always working off the back of defenders, and this time sprung the offside trap, and I think he was that quick down there. He had no companions helping him. They were coming later on, but weighed up his options and decided to have a pop himself. Unfortunately, this time wide of the target.
Do you prefer to see him through the middle as he is today, or out wide where he's played as well?
I like him in the middle. I think he hurts people more, but I think he's better not just a front one on his own. I've made no apologies. I like to see him off Jordan.
Off Stockley.
Stockley, yeah. I think it gives him a good foil. That he's got a big man who they can target, and he can make those little runs off his little flick-ons. But sometimes when Sean Maguire's there against two 6'4" defenders and that, he gets caught up in a battle which he's never going to win, and it's not his strength. He needs to be getting in between lines and causing trouble that way.
Salford again, we're looking a threat there, but Ledson again intervened. No way forward down the near side. Callum Brown saw the challenge coming there.
Yeah. I've seen that 2 or 3 times always. I like to see that. Why not in pre-season? End of the day, you're fighting for your name in that first 11 when it comes the first day of the season. And looks like a young lad, full of enthusiasm, and it's good to see. It means so much to him.
Do you remember a few years ago doing a pre-season friendly? I think it was at Fleetwood, and Joe Garner was sent off in the first half for a similar sort of challenge.
It doesn't matter what's at stake. You've got personal pride, and sometimes you let Sean Green used to get sent off every season at Bamber Bridge, no matter what. Well, not officially sent off. The referee used to ask him to take him off before it boiled over. But yeah, if that's in your nature, you can't turn it on and off as soon as you cross that white line, be it on a park on a Sunday morning or an FA Cup final. If that's your nature, that's how you play the game.
Seen Sean Gregan go in 2-footed against fans who've paid to play on the Deepdale pitch.
Suddenly Ashcroft do it as well in veterans matches where it's a charity match. I think we all stood around and we were a little bit gobsmacked at that.
Out wide it comes again here for the home side, closing in towards half-time. Well, Darren Gibson still looks fit.
How old is he now?
Good question. Only 32.
Yeah, I was going to say he's not. He's been around a long time, hasn't he? He burst onto the scene, didn't he, at Man United at an early age. But yeah, I was going to say I didn't think he was too old.
He's had all sorts of off-the-field problems that have been well documented, but he's getting back to matters on the field and trying to rebuild here at Salford City.
Where was he last season? Was it Everton?
He had a spell here just at the end of last season.
Was that on loan?
Yeah, he only played 4 games. I don't think he had a club before that. Here's Johnson. Maguire after it. Tom Clark won't want to get in a foot race with Sean Maguire if he can help it. Here's Bayliss. Clever from him. Taking it on as well before his ankles were tapped.
Oh.
Painful one for him.
Good feet, that. It's the first kind of time we've seen him. We know he's got good feet. He paid a few quid for him from Coventry. He came with a lot of pedigree, but I think he just had his heel clipped there, and hopefully he's usually on these pitches when it's firm. Pre-season, you're prone to going over in your ankle. It just seems to dig in. Let's hopefully he's not done that, because that would be a big blow to his pre-season.
Yeah, he had quite a lot of injuries in the first half of last season.
He looks in a lot of pain though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does look in a lot of pain, and it's ankle related again.
Let's hope it's stub marks rather than ligament damage. We saw it happen to Tommy Spur, didn't we, 2-3 seasons ago at Chorley? He did exactly the same. He just caught his foot in the turf. It just seems a bit more lush, doesn't it, the turf this time of year? It's had the summer, you get the growth on it, and obviously the pitch is a little bit firm, and the number of people who did their ankles in pre-season was, it was no coincidence.
Hugely congested midfield area as well to get in the team, isn't it? And Tom Bayliss probably a victim of that last season. Very difficult to dislodge Gallagher and Pearson, and then you've got Daniel Johnson and Alan Brown and Ryan Ledson. Plethora of options. Seems okay though, does Bayliss, as he's trudging off. Hopefully he'll be back on. Alan Brown is lining this free kick up like he's going to take on the keeper.
He's no stranger to this spectacular, is he? So he's certainly got plenty of room to get it up and over the wall.
Brown lining it up. Wall did its job. Maguire's offside. The goal won't count. Flag went up early.
That's my point earlier. That he's brilliant at that. When you've got someone challenging the area, he anticipates them winning the ball. Hence your Stockley, and makes those runs in behind. Just a little unfortunate there, but great movement and a good finish.
Pre-season game set to come thick and fast. Another game for you on Tuesday when Preston travel to Tranmere. Games also announced against Sheffield United and Everton to come. Plus we've got the competitive action of the Carabao Cup first round when Alex Neil's old team Mansfield will arrive. Here's Hayes, the goalkeeper who arrived in the summer. He'd previously been in the Norwich youth setup.
He's got good distribution, hasn't he? He looks an imposing figure. From this distance, he's almost a carbon copy of his coach, isn't he, Carlo Nash? Same hairstyle and everything, same physique, but 2 or 3 times he's picked out his man really well. Which we know is such a vital part of goalkeeping these days. It's no longer good enough to just shell it out the park and thwart the danger.
Yeah, he'll be doing battle for the #1 spot this season. I think Salford have signed another new goalkeeper in the last 24 hours as well. Continuing to bolster the squad before they begin their campaign in League 2 against Exeter City. We're nearly at the half-time interval now. Ripley sends it long. Bayliss showing no ill effects to that knock, but the half-time whistle goes. So Preston burst into a 2-goal lead thanks to Scott Sinclair and Billy Bowden before Salford pulled it back. It's been a pretty entertaining first half, Paul McKenna.
Yeah, it has. It's been a well contested battle, hasn't it? Salford certainly give a good account of themselves. Created probably 3 to 1. The amount of chances that Preston have, but Preston have been more clinical when they've got in front of goal. But yeah, I'm sure both managers will be happy with what they've seen. Both sets of players look fit, and as we mentioned earlier, they look like they've hit the ground running.
Well, we'll have a quick break at half-time, but the second half action is on the way for you. At the interval, it is Salford 1, Preston 2. Well, it's half-time here. Preston leading by 2-1. We're just waiting for the North End team to arrive. Here they come right on cue. There's been a lot of warming up going on at half-time for the second Preston side that's going to come on at around the hour mark in this second period. Doesn't look like Graham Alexander's made too many changes, if any, to his side at half-time either. Paul McKenna, former North End captain and midfielder, is alongside me and watching here this afternoon. It was a pretty competitive first half, wasn't it, Kenna?
Yeah, really competitive. It was. It wasn't played at your usual first pre-season of the season. It was certainly a lot quicker than that, and you can see the players are a lot further on at this stage than they would normally. But good. Salford certainly gave a good account of themselves in the first half. Probably a little unfortunate that they went in 1-0 with a one goal to the deficit. But Preston, yeah, it's the same starting 11 for both sides that finished the first half. And as you say, we're going to see some wholesale changes, I think, from Preston on the hour mark. But yeah, I think maybe Graham will be doing the same, because they certainly got a decent sized squad in the warm-up. So yeah, it's good for these players to get so many minutes under the belt so early on.
Tom Clark with the long ball forward, and Salford with the first attack. A header goes wide of the mark though.
Yeah, again, Salford coming out of the blocks like they did in the first half and asking questions of this defensive partnership, Story and Bower.
Well, Connor Ripley's in goal for Preston. Andrew Hughes, Jordan Story, Patrick Bauer and Alan Bryan the back four. Ryan Ledson and Tom Bayliss in midfield. It's Scott Sinclair, Daniel Johnson and Billy Bowden playing off Sean Maguire. Bowden it is who's got it here. Bowden and Sinclair scored in the first half. Twisting and turning from Bowden before curling it in. Preston will have a corner.
Yeah, he's dangerous, Bowden. I think if you've got him in your team, you've got to try and get in them situations 1v1 against the left back. As you say, he twists and turns. He's got a great chop. Lovely bit of skill there again. Feinted to cross it with his right foot, chopped it back onto his left, and just overhit the cross slightly. But he's got great ability, and we've seen him numerous times in the Championship go past defenders like they weren't there. And I think he's someone you've got to utilise if you've got him available to.
Bowden on the corner, and it's headed wide by Story, who rose well.
Decent chance, wasn't it, as well? I don't know if the jump from Brown just in front of him maybe took his eye off the ball, but good delivery, and you can see it was a set piece they worked at.
Well, Billy Bowden is not played a lot of football because of the injury problems that he's had. 20 appearances last season, only 3 of them since January, and fleeting substitute appearances they were too.
It's strange, he's not your typical lad you'd think would get a lot of injuries. He's well balanced, isn't he, how he runs and everything, and not lightning quick, so you would expect him, to be available for a majority of the season.
It was his flick that set up this attack, and Scott Sinclair won't quite be able to get there ahead of Hayes, the keeper.
Yeah, lovely bit of skill there. Just put it round the back of Gibson with a little Cruyff flick and set Preston on the way.
What were you saying about the goalkeeper's distribution in the first half?
I was just thinking that as he shanked that. I was like, don't let me get away with anything, dear.
Ledson's just managed to recover and get this one. Here's Bayliss. Alan Bryan now being encouraged forward by his manager. Johnson. Here's Sinclair. Sinclair find a chance. Ledson will, and the goalkeeper makes a good save. Hit it well enough, Ryan Ledson. Straight at Nick Hayes, the former England under-17 international goalkeeper. This is Daniel Johnson. Sinclair's on his bike again, but again won't quite manage to get there up the slope. Hayes with the clearance this time. Hughes has shepherded out. Henderson chasing it down there as Ripley got a good distance on the kick. Gibson helping it back to the goalkeeper.
It was only a couple of foot off being an unbelievable strike, that wasn't it, by Ripley? Just nearly released Story down that right hand side.
Ripley's come to gather it this time, and he did well. Salford have still got it though, and it's bending towards that goal, but Alan Bryan stopped it going any further. Bowden looking for a free kick but not getting it. Salford sensing an equaliser here. They're trying to continue. Not quite measured enough from Darren Gibson. Nearly given away by Alan Bryan, but Ryan Ledson sorted it out. But a few eye-catching performances from the team that's nearly played an hour here this afternoon in Preston's first pre-season game of the summer. Here's Bayliss, just giving it away there on that occasion. Hunter. Poor from him. It's a pretty good setup here at the Peninsula Stadium. And Salford City are looking to try and get another promotion to their epic rise.
Yeah, they seem to be going about it the right way, don't they? You know, they've not gone knee deep and built this big stadium that they can't fill. They're doing it bit by bit, and I'm sure with the, as you mentioned earlier, the backing they've got, they'll take this club as far as they want to go.
Breathing down an equaliser there before Jordan Story's intervention. Yeah, this stadium holds just over 5,000.
You can almost see it. It's kind of, they've built it so they can add to each stand if they need to, haven't they? They've got a little bit of space in and around, but as I say, they seem to be going about it the right way.
Well, Preston thought they got a goal kick there, but it's gone as a corner.
It was absolutely a goal kick, wasn't it? I think a little bit of codology there by the right back from Salford, and for some reason the linesman fell for it.
Let's see what happens from the corner. Preston holding on to a 2-goal-1 lead. Story with the header away. Hunter just caught there by Ryan Ledson. He was just a fraction late, wasn't he? Lots of activity on the sidelines now as the Preston players get ready to come on shortly. Graham Alexander's got a lot of his substitutes warming up as well. Here's Daniel Johnson. "12 goals and 7 assists for Daniel Johnson last season, winning him the Supporters and Players Player of the Year award, rather unsurprisingly. Great return for him though. He had a great year, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I said they relied quite heavily on him in the end, didn't they, for his goals, and because neither of the strikers, you know, I think if you're going to mount a challenge top 6, you need a striker that'll give you in and around 20 goals a season, and you've not had that now for a couple of years, Preston. I'm sure it's something that the strikers here and the manager are aware of, and but they have been playing a single striker up front, haven't they, quite a lot, so I suppose that brings more midfielders into the mix, and you end up with more goals from your midfielders inevitably. But I think likes of Sean Maguire, Stockley, they'll be looking to add to the tally. They can get the backup from the midfielders like they done last year. I'm sure they'll get enough goals within them as a unit to push on to the top end of this league.
Yeah, Tom Barkhuizen was next with 11. Goals were very much shared around the squad last season. Stories headed it behind for a corner this time. Well, Ben Davies got injured for the last 3 games of the season, so Jordan Story played in those 3. Ben Davies is going to be coming on very shortly for Preston for his first taste of action since then. Salford want to equalise before then if they can, and
nearly an own goal.
Nearly an own goal off Patrick Bauer.
Yeah, it was a great bowling, wasn't it? He worked it well. It's obviously another little set piece they've been working on. I think Preston thought they were going to do the one they did before, a little stop whip, but it was a really testing ball, and you could see why it caused Bauer so many problems.
And it comes again as Hughes heads it away. This is Tom Clark. Ryan Ledson, who was throwing himself at the ball. But it's going to be a 3rd corner in quick succession. Johnson blocked it this time. Will cue the retreat of a few of the Salford players in that penalty area. Ripley with the shout and the catch. And he's trying to find Scott Sinclair here. Couldn't judge the header. Good from Ledson again. He distributes it out towards Alan Brown. Ledson for sure has been the man who's caught the eye most in this game for Preston so far.
Good tackle that, wasn't it? He's a fit lad, isn't he? Who is that? He's put 3 or 4 of those tackles in. He's certainly got a lot of desire and he's fit. We just seen him in this right-hand corner here, go past a couple and put a cross in, and he's, in the time it's been cleared, he's back and doing a defensive job. Certainly got a bit between his teeth.
Preston's free kick this time. Ledson not able to clear the first man. Story searching for Sinclair, but again just overhit, although Sinclair does give him the thumbs up.
Yeah, it looked a good ball. I don't know if he was just caught on his heels a little bit there, but certainly was a good strike.
Henderson here, getting the better of Story, who's still on the ground. Henderson trying to find the support. Patrick Barrow with a long leg.
And that's the difference there. So Henderson did really well, muscle Story out of it. A little bit naive there going up for that ball, but they have 4v2 then coming on, and I think if he just reversed it to the far side, it would have been a great opportunity for Salford to get back on level pegging, but just held on to it a little bit too long and gave Bauer a sniff of defending, which we know he gave him half a chance and he'll mop up the danger.
Yeah, Henderson has departed for new opportunities after over 300 games for Rochdale. Scored about 120 goals as well in that spell. Knows where the back of the net is in the League 2, League 1 section of the divisions. Well, here come the changes, and Preston are going to change all 11. The team coming on is going to be Matt Hudson in goal, Josh Earl, Ben Davis, Paul Huntington and Joe Rafferty, Ben Pearson and Paul Gallagher in midfield, Brad Potts, Josh Harrop and Tom Barkhazen, with Jaden Stockley up front. So plenty of fresh legs and fresh ideas.
There's a couple of changes from Salford's point of view coming as well.
But just picking one or two players out who are coming on, and well, Paul Gallagher is a Preston player for another year, 36 now, but he signed a one-year extension over the summer to continue his career. And well, we all know about the experience and what he offers both on and off the pitch, and it's great to see him continuing his playing career.
You know, you'd say this 11 coming on there, certainly probably more first-team regulars than there was in the first hour. So I expect some decent performances now from Preston going forward.
A couple of changes for Graham Alexander as well. Darren Gibson is coming off, and it looks like Tom Clark is also going to make way.
Over 30s club, innit? But no, good to see, like I say, Josh Earl back in a Preston shirt. I think he was sorely missed last year. He obviously went out on loan and had a couple of really nasty injuries, but I'm sure he's here with the bit between his teeth, trying to establish himself back in his first team. Ben Davis as well, a couple of injuries last year, but those two, if you've got them on the left-hand side, you've got not only a physical presence, but natural balance with them both being left-footed and athletic, so great attributes to any squad.
Yeah, the left-back was a bit of a problem really for Alex Neil last season. He relied on Joe Rafferty playing out of position for quite a large spell of it, and he did pretty well actually, to his credit. He's on at right back now for the rest of this game. Here he is, in fact.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he? Because as I say, he was always round pegging the square hole, wasn't he? But it was he did really well. He copes really well as soon as he's on the lopsided.
Here's Potts into the side netting from a tight angle after Tom Barkhazen's thrust down the right.
Straight away, there's just looks a little more intent from this team, don't they, going forward? Once again, your front three or four very attacking minded, like for like positions. Say
Tom Barkhazen is a man that Alex Neil uses so often as well. 47 games he played last season.
Yeah, I think you've got to play to his strength. I mean, I think you've got to use his pace. I think he's not a player who wants to receive the ball when he's back to play, and he's not someone who can worm his way out of trouble. He wants the ball put in front of him, and he's almost more effective the least touch he has in the game. I think when he can be played through and he's playing on the shoulder of people, he's electric and he really influences the game a lot more.
Davis with the defending there. Held tight with his tackle there, but it was fair according to the officials. Barkhazen getting it out to Earl again now. Gallagher and Pearson have been the first picks in midfield for Alex Neil for a number of years now, it seems. See if anyone will dislodge them this season. Although with a slightly different season coming up, with the games being so quick together, Paul Gallagher won't be able to play all of them, will he? He just simply can't get through the vast number of minutes required.
No, I think the manager used him well last year. He has done for the last couple of seasons, to be fair. He's brought him off after 60 minutes or brought him on with half an hour to go, etc. But yeah, he's not someone who's going to give you 50 games a season, is he, at the stage of his career? But he's certainly a good asset to have in any squad.
Pearson did well just to hold the ball up there, and he's got his teammates involved here. Potts is looking for Earl. Cross is missed, and it nearly fell for Ben Pearson. Paul Huntington entering the final year of his contract. What a servant he's been for North End as well. Ever so reliable, and really unfortunate to have been retrospectively banned after getting himself back in the team at the end of last season.
How long's he been at the club now? Must be a similar time, 7 years?
Yeah, I think it's 7 or 8 years, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been, as you say, a great servant. Came in last year after a lengthy layoff, didn't he? I don't think he'd played for probably 30, 40 games, and he did really well when he came in.
In 2012 he arrived. A year longer than Clark, as Paul Gallagher is in the right place at the right time to gather it. Here's Harrop now.
There you go. Oh,
just under hit there from Josh Harrop.
Just the situation we're talking about. He gets one in that hole. He was just on his back there, Barkhazen. I think the ball was right. He was clean through on goal. Expect better from Harrop there. He's got that's his bread and butter. That getting those little, get half turned and playing those little thread balls.
Yeah, is it fair to say he's one of the most talented players in the squad who has got that ability to do something very few others have, particularly in the final third?
That's to translate into games though, doesn't it? You see so many players who've got all the ability in the world. I've played with so many over the years, and yet they don't influence the game, and I think that's where Josh needs to maybe up his game a little bit. We know he's got the ability, but it's about affecting games inevitably. You can get the most basic player but they play to the strengths, and they get you goals and assists.
Davis fouled by the experienced Henderson there. Matt Hudson in goal as well in this second half. No Declan Rudd through injury today. Matt Hudson has also signed another contract towards the end of last season. Another player from the youth academy. We're hoping to challenge for place in the team this season. He's got a bit of defending to do here with this free kick for the home team. Comes, and it's a good catch for Hudson. He's going to try and send it early. It's a good ball too. This is Harrop. Sliding challenge is in, I think, from Hunter, and free kick is given.
I'll tell you what, we've seen once again there. He's the one who's took the wide free kick on the left, and he's whipped the ball in. I thought it was a good tackle myself, but it is on the far side. Great recovery by him again, and he's got some energy, hasn't he? So early in pre-season, I think he's covered some ground.
Well, Josh Harrop is up on his feet, still a little bit groggy. Welcome to pre-season, I think. Former Manchester United man watching over the free kick now, which Paul Gallagher looks favourite to take.
Got some physical presence in there, aren't they, for these set pieces? When you look at the three at the back stick, particularly. Well, Davis as well, the big four there. Wouldn't want to be marking those.
Yeah, Josh Earl probably the tallest of the players in there, and it's Gallagher who sends it up. Away by Hayes. Pearson is able to retrieve it. Here's Earl. Preston have looked pretty composed in the second half since changing the whole side. We expect many of these players on now to start against Tranmere on Tuesday. Tom Barkhuizen is attacking again here. Potts turning well. Can Stockley find the finish? Unfortunately not.
Again, Barkhuizen just breaking that right hand side. I think because his pace is that electrifying, it just gives you a massive area to hit. It just takes the. You don't need to be too precise because you put it in an area and inevitably he's going to get on the end of it.
Poor clearance from the keeper here. Barkhuizen not able to really fully get forward though. Preston still leading by 2-1. The goals coming quickly in the first half from Sinclair and Bowden.
Look at that for distribution with that keeper, do you see it?
Earl should be in charge of this one. Earl fouled. Here's Davis. Lovely ball from Harrop, and Josh Earl's away now. Defender just got there to block the cross.
Just needs someone making that run, doesn't he? You see, they worked it really well. The better ball this time by Harrop, gets it on the half turn in that hole and releases Earl down his left, and he's looking to maybe whip that right across the face, but he didn't have any runners. That's where you want to see Barkhuizen really busting the gut, using his pace to get right across the defenders.
Here's Pearson and Gallagher. Preston trying to play intricately forward. Just broke down. Salford threatening again here, but Gallagher was back there to help out. Heading towards the final 15 minutes. Davis with the header away. Earl again, powerfully winning it in the air. Huntington and Henderson colliding in the air, two experienced players. Not a typical Gallagher pass there. Looks like Ian Henderson's going to make way. There's Graham Alexander makes another change, continuing to build up the fitness of his squad. Rafferty judging this one. Hazen with an awkward fall. And he's right on his shoulder there. Hopefully he'll be okay. He's receiving treatment. Preston have got plenty of players out of contract at the end of this season. Barkhazen among them, I think. And well, it'd be a great boost, wouldn't it, for Alex Neil if he could get some of his established first-team players tied down to long-term deals before the start of the season.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if he lets it get much longer, with 5 or 6 of his regulars in amongst those 11 or 12 that you mentioned there. So yeah, it's be a big few months for Preston in there.
Here's Harrop out to Barkhazen now, pulling it back for Stockley. Always leading back. Would have been some finish.
Yeah. Barkhazen there again. Usually his pace, he gets in so many times down those flanks. His decision making when he's got in those positions today has been good. Creating a chance there for Stockley. Unfortunately, this time again, he was just wide of the mark.
Potts turned into trouble there. And Davis, who is quick, has been able to see it out. Stockley doing well. Preston using their composure well there, and now it's Pearson. He can open the pitch up. Earl needs no second invite to get forward. Huntington off towards Stockley. Stockley got a couple of goals in the final 5 games of last season. Put in some excellent performances as well that were hailed by his manager. He's letting this one run as Sparkason couldn't quite get it under control. Both teams holding a throw, but Preston are the ones who get it. About 10 minutes to go. Preston continuing to lead. Stockley finds Earl here. Harrop's making the early run. Here he is as Preston try to secure the victory. Cross finds Stockley. Earl's back down there. One or two honest challenges going in.
Yeah, as you say, it's been a well-contested match, hasn't it? It's tackles going in from both sides, and there's not been any malice in the game. It's just been well fought.
Here's Gallagher. Earl drifting in field. Sparkason was trying to cross first time.
Preston now going into the last 10 minutes, they're certainly in the ascendancy, aren't they? They're the better of the two. I don't know if it's obviously fresh legs have come on. Maybe there's 2 or 3 of the Salford players a little fatigued, but they certainly look the better of the 2 teams at the minute.
Here's Rafferty again. I'm sure Alex Neil will be pretty pleased with what he's seen this afternoon. Some strong performances in the first half, and these players who came on at the hour mark have also acquitted themselves well.
Yeah, this group just seems to have a little bit more intensity, a little bit more guile going forward. You'd expect it though, because as I said, when they came on, there's probably 8 out of 10 of these are, you'd say they were stalwart regulars in the season.
And for Salford, they've looked useful too, and you'd imagine they'll do quite well in League 2 in the new season.
Yeah, they've certainly been extremely competent. As we said, he's been clever in the market. He's bought some experience, and he's got pace in the team. It looks like he's 2 or 3 have got ability, and just lads who know how to play at this level. And I'm sure they'll have a very competent season in League 2.
Corner for the home team, who've still got a few minutes to try and get an equaliser. Out-swinging ball headed away by Stockley. Another header that is looping wide.
Certainly a threat going forward, aren't they? They've got pace and they've got ability in that. As you can see in the front 3 now, they've certainly got players with desire. You know, I think Hunter's been outstanding from today, hasn't he? As we said, he's covered every blade on the grass on the field, and Gibson, I think he'll be a great foil for the back 4. You can see he's just going to sit there in front and do a job defensively for him and get the ball easy as he's done all his career.
Yeah, Graham Alexander looks to have recruited well, particularly Ashley Hunter, the former Fleetwood man. As you say, they have got that experienced core in the team. He's got a very familiar looking Team of coaches alongside him has Graham Alexander now, with Chris Lucchetti, Yulma Wenning and Carlo Nash.
I was just going to say, it's no coincidence that, you know, they've got good people at the top, haven't they? You know, Chris Lucchetti and Graham, they've been together now for a number of years. Brought in Yulma Wenning, one of the best guys you'll ever meet, and very thorough at his job. And Carlo Nash, goalkeeping coach, so the guys were all really happy to be here, and I'm sure they all work well together and known each other a long time.
Referee plenty advantage here, and Stockley just whips it past the post.
It's the third chance he's had now, isn't it? And all been decent chances as well. That one probably the best on his favoured right foot. And good again by Barkes, and gone past 2 or 3 players and just played the ball easy. Certainly his decision making today has been fantastic. He's got on the ball. He's been a real thorn in the side of Salford since he's come on.
About 5 minutes to go. Salford going short, and it might just get them in trouble. He's going longer instead.
Bit of a mismatch there with Josh Earl, but food and drink to him.
Drade in through the middle, but Huntington read it. Pearson stealing it, and
4 against 3, yeah. You can see Earl at the back stick. There we go.
Here it comes.
Yeah, the difference is a little bit of quality. Pops there. It's the first real influence of this half since he's come on. But again, Pearson just robs Salford of possession, what he does so well. Reads the game and gave the ball easy. And great delivery from Potts on the right side there. Picked out Earl, Harrop at the back stick. Easy finish for him. Nice compose. Just put his concentrated, watched the ball all the way onto his foot. It's what Preston have deserved really over the last 10-15 minutes. They've certainly been the better of the 2 teams.
Yeah, it's been a very good second half with the introduction of the new players, and Josh Harrop adding to the goals as well that Sinclair and Bowden scored in the first half. So ultimately today, Preston have been too good for Salford of League 2. The League 2 men will have this free kick though, just to try and make it a nervy ending. Whipped in and headed over.
He's got some delivery, Hunter, hasn't he? That's 4 or 5 we've seen today. He doesn't. I like it. He really puts the whip on it, doesn't he? It must be a dream for defenders and attackers alike when they're going in there. He put it on the spot. There's been 2 or 3 that he's done that already, but he's not gambled and it's gone straight to the goalkeeper. But his delivery so far this afternoon has been great.
Yeah, he had a really good end to last season before lockdown as well, with 5 goals in 11 games between January and March. Barkhazen trying to take it on, and he was hauled down. It's been too hot to handle this afternoon since coming on, Tom Barkhazen.
He's been great, hasn't he? As I said, I think the most simple his game is when he gets the ball facing the opponent's goal and he's in full swing. He's unstoppable and he creates chances. And you're gonna get the odd time where he disappoints, but what an asset to have in your team. There again, he's just knocked it past the defender. They just can't get near him.
So Preston looking for a 4th before the end. Barkhazen, as we've mentioned, perhaps deserves to be on the score sheet. Harrop and Gallagher in deep discussion. Square for Potts instead.
picked it well enough, didn't he? Just couldn't get control of the ball, get over the top of it on the strike. But yeah, you fancy him from there. He strikes a great ball with either foot, Potts.
So how did Preston look to you at the beginning of pre-season, Kennett?
Well, they look better than they've ever done. Because they're obviously a lot fitter than they've ever been at this stage. But no, I've been impressed with them today. They've been against a good set of players here at Salford. As I said, I think Graham's. It's not your typical League Two squad. This is it. They've obviously got a lot of money behind them, and they've been able to bring in players who've got experience not just at League Two level, but even Premier League level. I've seen Gibson, today, and likes of Lowe coming in, who's played the majority of his football so far in his career at Championship level. So there's Clark as well. So they've been up against not your typical League Two team, and caused them a lot of problems in the first half. But I think their class has come through in the end, and they've looked more than competent, and everybody looks fit and raring to go. And it looks like there's going to be competition for places, which is always good for any squad.
Deep cross that Hudson takes charge of. Comfortable keeping from him as the full-time whistle goes. So it's Preston who get the win in their first game of this summer's pre-season. Scott Sinclair, Billy Bowden and Josh Harrop with the goals. Ash Hunter scored one for Graham Alexander's Salford City, but ultimately the Championship class told in the end, Paul McKenna.
Yeah, it was in the end, on paper, it looks a comfortable win, one that you'd probably expect before the game, but it wasn't always the case. And the first probably 35 minutes of the game, Salford dominated and gave a really good account of themselves. And I'm sure Graham Alexander will not be too disappointed with the result. He'll be looking at his signings and how he thinks they're going to gel as a team. And they were more than a match for Preston on many occasions this afternoon. But in the end, Preston just showed a little bit of class and were comfortable winners in the end.
Kenneth, thanks very much for your time this afternoon. We'll be back on air on Tuesday for the second game of this pre-season when the Preston North End team travel down to Tranmere. Do join us then if you can, but here this afternoon Preston summer is off and underway with a victory. It's finished Preston North End 3, Salford 1.